Hi everyone, welcome back to another, spoiler-free review for a book that's from an author I've never read before, and I just stumbled upon it at my favorite used bookstore, which I love those things. You find all the stuff that you didn't know that you really needed to read because you're never going to find it at Barnes & Noble and not likely to find it at your local library either with their limited space. So this was a fun one, and well, I'll try not to spoil the book. In itself, it's a bit of a spoiler because it turns out it's the 7th book in the series, and they kind of go, hey, here's some characters that met and did some stuff some who knows which book ago, because this is the first time I've ever read this author. So, it kind of gives away that, hey, these people lived. But other than that, I will try not to actually spoil this book particularly for you. And it is awesome. It is Death Relic by Chris Kuzneski, I think is how we say that. And honestly, come on now. Death Relic. Does that not sound like the coolest thing ever? And then you see it on the cover, it's got an ancient temple, and read the back of it. I had to snatch it up because it's got a lot of, ancient Mayan history, and that's a culture I find very fascinating. So I had to pick it up for a couple bucks and see if it's worth the hype, because I vaguely remember that name as going, hey, you like this author, try this one. I don't know why. They have nothing in common. That is not a James Rollins novel at all, but it was still very enjoyable. Now, it's written in a style that I don't normally like, and that is multiple storylines combining. Usually that's very kind of, at least for me, it's kind of hard to follow. It tends to feel like it's bouncing around and very disjointed. This one, it felt that way kind of, but it still worked really well. And because I say it's very fast-paced and at the same time very slow. And again, that's because of the style. We've got the one storyline where we've got a guy that made his millions by kidnapping people and getting ransom. And then we have this Italian historian, or archaeologist that's very, devoted Catholic and is basically studying the history of all of that. And then we have these two former military old dudes that are up in Pittsburgh complaining about how cold it is. So we've got a lot of, storylines that don't seem like they go together, that are in and of themselves are pretty fun. And then, about a third of the way in, some of those storylines start combining, but we get another storyline. So figuring out how it all goes together happens very, very slowly. Where we actually understand where the title came from, you're pretty much at the end of the book by the time you know what that's all about. So in that respect, it's slow. But overall, it's very fast-paced. Each storyline kind of moves along, and aside from the whole, I got rich kidnapping everyone, how dare somebody turn this around on me storyline, it's actually really fun. They're just, whether they are friends being, smart aleck, giving each other crap, or giving each other crap because, excuse me, I know you didn't just mouth off, bring it on, Buttercup. It's smart ass and hilarious. They can't not give each other crap in most of these storylines. They are sassy, and it is fun. So basically, what we have is, the only thing that really feels like it's holding all these storylines together at the beginning is that they all end up in Mexico. And so we've got, obviously we've got our kidnapping kingpin who is pissed off because now he's on the other end. Somebody broke into his house, got past all his guards while him and his wife were sleeping, and kidnapped his kids. And we're not sure what the heck is going on with that. And then we've got the Italian archaeologist who has been flown to Cancun for the weekend for some project. She has no idea what she's doing there, but famous archaeologist is willing to pay you to stay in a 5-star resort for the weekend on the beach, hey, go for it. And then we've got some guys that they're like old, but one of them is dating this, just like within the last couple of years finished her doctorate, young chick, and they're not, giving him crap about being old dude, robbing the cradle. So I'm not really sure, like, what the age gap is on that. Like, they talk about being old, but then they're not. But they're retired military that just, they gotta stay in the game. Then they love giving the younger folks crap. Like, their storyline starts off with, we're testing some weapons in the sewers against a bunch of, spoiled ROTC cadets and seeing what they make of it, just to prove that, haha, we can take them on, and hey, this new tech works. But our little archaeologist ends up in some trouble when the guy that flew her down there goes missing and her room gets ransacked. So she calls these guys from her past, which that's the part that's kind of a spoiler of before, and where our first 2 of our 3 storylines collide. Is, hey, I need help, but I don't want to go to corrupt police, so help, somebody ransacked my room. Somebody kidnapped the guy that's funding all of this that I came down here for. Somebody save me. So they come ditch Pittsburgh in the cold and come down to Cancun. And so now we have 2 storylines, but not for long. Because now we get a 3rd one of, another chick just, doing the touristy thing and going on a guided tour of, downtown. And we have very snarky, just, very fun tour guide. There's like, I don't care how big or small the group is, I'm gonna be the funniest, best person ever, and you're gonna love it. He is very hammy old dude that's giving our, main character crap, because clearly she's American. There's only been 2 redheads all year, and he learned his lesson from the first one. We don't like being called Wendy, the hamburger girl. So, who says he can't learn something? And, they're kind of bantering back and forth. And eventually her storyline collides with kidnapper guy. So we're down, we go from 3 to 2, back to, 3, still 3, but we figure out what, some of them have to do with each other. And it's just, from there, it's just a race to figure out, okay, what the heck? They keep dropping in bits of history from, the Spanish invasion of Mexico and how they, basically slaughtered the Mayans and the Aztecs, and get bits of history of that and how the Mayas and the Aztec didn't get along, and, what the church had to do with this. And it's like, ooh, crap, they don't really want us to say this because it kind of makes them look bad, but it is what it is. And, that's kind of part of the mystery. Like, so the church called this guy out on, they wanted to slaughter anyone that didn't convert, but he kind of did it in an over-the-top evil way, and they called him back and reprimanded him, but then they sent him back and promoted him. Something fishy's going on here, and maybe if we get to the bottom of this, we'll find out who kidnapped your guy and ransacked your room and what the heck is going on. And what's the deal with this death relic that, we still don't know what the heck that is. But there was, they couldn't find their missing archaeologist that had called the Italian girl over to Mexico. He's been kidnapped, but they have his Hummer full of weapons and, relics and shards and all kinds of stuff. And he's not known for having money, having weapons, any of that. So they're trying to figure out what the heck is he a good guy? Is he in on this? We don't know. Like, do we need to save him? Leave him to his, his fate? Do we need to find him and off him? Because that's some serious firepower going on in the trunk. And so it's just, we finally figure out, how everything fits together. And there's lots of, okay, this was betrayal. This actually, we like this one, but we don't. They're kind of up in the air whether they're good or not. They got what was coming to them. Hey, I thought he was a bad guy. He was a good guy, but we don't know who's pulling strings. And even at the end, oh, hey, we finally figured out what this is and where it is. There's red tape. We're not allowed to inspect this. It'll be in the next book, I'm sure. So I actually do I want to pick up the next one and try to find the old ones because I want to know what the heck is going on. They tie off a lot of storylines and still leave some hanging. And it's just, the storylines themselves didn't really seem to go together at first, but individually they were still so much fun. I just love the way the characters interact with each other, all the snark and smart-ass comments and the teasing. It's fun. I would have, let any one of them be a standalone little story. So and they definitely want to see how those go and how those came about. Because like I said, there's some, between, several of the main characters. We've got our three main ones. We've got Jones and Payne, who are the former, maniacs. That's actually like their special military group thing. Which, given their behavior, they really are maniacs. And then we've got Dr. I'm not even going to try to say her name. It's Italian chick, Dr. Archaeologist, because I can't say it. Dr. P, we'll go with that one. And those three have a history together from a previous mission where she was thought to be the good guy and they were sent to kill her, and then found out that, wait, we shouldn't be trying to kill her. It's the people that sent us to kill her that need to get whacked. So they have a little bit of animosity of, hey, you stuck a gun in my mouth and threatened to blow my brains out when I met you, but now you're saving my butt. So that's definitely creates a lot of interesting dynamic. So, hopefully this sounds like something interesting to you. I mean, if you want some action all over Mexico and a lot of smartassery, or if you're just interested in Mayan and Aztec ancient culture, there is a lot of tidbits of that thrown around in here. That's it's not the complete storyline, but it's thrown in often enough that you do get to pick up a lot, and it's very intriguing. So do with that as you will. Hopefully maybe you found a new book or realize that it's a little too scattered for your tastes. Hopefully that helps, and y'all have some lovely reading and have a great weekend. Bye. See you next time.